Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Winback, and on today's episode we're going to be playing Sergeant Hammer, and we're going to be doing it a bit differently. And this is 100% because the idea got in my head from a comment on another Hammer video, so take that as you will. Feel free to let me know what you want to see in these videos. It's a YouTube channel after all, so feel free to like, comment, and subscribe your heart out. We're coming up on 300 subs as of this video, so thank you so much for everybody who enjoys this stuff, likes to, subscribe and interact, and it's really cool that you guys enjoy this, so thank you so much. But as far as today goes, Sergeant Hammer, we're going to be playing mines. We're just going to be full mines, and it's going to be cool stuff. We're on Alterac Pass, and the team comps are going to be Alarak, Anduin, Hogger, Falstad, Sergeant Hammer versus Artanis, Gul'dan, Genji, Thrall, and Deckard. So, in this build, we're going to be taking mostly mine talents, and I am going to make one change on a talent that I don't think is, normally change it. Oh, no. And you're dead. Goodbye. Oh my god, that concussive blast is so much fun. So we're not going to be taking siege tactics in this build. We're actually going to take barricade, and you're going to see why as the video goes on, but this is going to be one of the memeiest shits you've ever seen, and I had a blast doing it. So, if you're not aware, Hammer's abilities, our focal point for this build is going to be our spider mines. This is our Q. We're going to create 3 mines that take 1.25 seconds to arm. You can see them sitting right there in front of Hammer right now, and when they're out, they're going to deal 104 damage and slow people by 25% for 1.5 seconds. When we're in siege mode, the cast range on this ability is increased 100%. So we get double the cast range on our Q, and that's fucking cool. So, all of our talents that buff this ability, we're going to be taking, and we'll talk about those as the video goes on. But there is some nuance there that makes it really, really cool to build this way, so we'll get there, I promise. Our W, which is honestly the most fun part about Hammer, to me, personally, it's called Concussive Blast. Deal 159 damage in a cone in front of a hammer, and knock people back. So, in Siege mode, the radius is increased by 50%. I could really use some help on this camp, because I don't think it's going to go very well for me. But the knockback is really big, and the damage isn't inconsiderable. We did kill Genji with it just a little while ago, so you can definitely seal the deal with this ability. But it is, again, the most fun, because if you're playing aggressively with Hammer, if you're getting in and out of siege mode like this build will have you do, it's possible to get places and knock people into things that they don't want to be in. So, probably just my favorite. I really love knockbacks, stuns, displacements, all that stuff, just in general when playing any character, so this one takes the cake for me. Our E is called Nanosteel, or Neosteel Plating. Nanosteel Coating is a Tychus talent. So Neosteel Plating is going to give us 25 armor for 2 seconds, and if we're in siege mode, we're going to get double that amount. So, we're going to get 50 armor when we're in siege mode, and that's it. It's definitely a defensive tool, probably the most boring part of Sergeant Hammer's kit, but it does exist for a reason, because she is stationary and she takes a lot of damage when people can just line shit up on her. Our D, I've mentioned it already a bunch of times, it's called Siege Mode. Basically what happens is we're going to hit the button, we're going to enter Siege Mode, and while in Siege Mode, basic attacks are going to deal 20% more damage, they're going to go double the distance, and they're going to deal 25% of their damage as splash damage around the target that we're auto-attacking. So, typically what you're going to want to do with this ability is siege up in front of a building, or in front of an easily defensible position, and just pepper the enemy team with damage from safe distance. And then when they come at you, like Artanis does, you just put up a big wall in front of them. Okay, he saved me, I appreciate that. And then you just let your healer keep you alive. Genji just getting absolutely blasted away this fucking entire game. Oh, it's so good. And we're taking people out. Absolutely. Enemy team is feeding right now, and I am down with that. Good stuff. So our ultimate choices, normally I'm going to take BFG, because BFG is a global. It's going to do a lot of damage. Thank you? It's just you, man. Yeah, that's The enemy team is having a really hard time diving me this game, and it shows. It's just so apparent. BFG is what I normally take because of the global, because of the big burst damage, but since we are picking the mine build, we're going to be doing a lot of juking and jiving this game. I want to take Napalm. Napalm, the other ultimate for Hammer, is called, it's going to deal 216 damage on the impact, and then once it's done that, it's going to leave a puddle of fire, Napalm, for 4 seconds, dealing a small amount of damage over that time. So it's going to be really good for stopping the enemy from channeling the objective. It's going to be good for, just kind of holding chokes, keeping the enemy at bay, and it is only on a 6-second cooldown, I believe. Yeah, only 6 seconds. Really, really good for that reason alone. So we're taking Napalm Strike in conjunction with our mine build because we're not going to be playing in siege mode as often as we normally would because we don't have hover siege mode this time around. Oh, Genji, I'm sorry. It just feels so good when you're playing against a character that's supposed to counter you and you just slap them around. That's a good feeling. Now, the talent build for Hammer at level 1, since we don't have any mine talents at level 1, I am going to pick up the most bursty talent that I can at this tier, and that's going to be Ambush. Ambush is going to make us... Oh my god, I'm taking a lot of damage. Luckily, the enemy team doesn't really know how to kill me. They're just focusing the objective. Thank God for that. So Ambush, when we go into siege mode, we're going to go invisible. And the first auto attack that we do while invisible is going to get a bonus amount of damage. How much does that do? 100%. So they're basically going to do double damage while we're sieged up, and that's to whatever targets that we're hitting. Not only does that help with wave clear, but it helps with burst, helps with just knocking the target down quicker. That being said, because we're going to be in and out of siege mode so much with this build, it just makes more sense to get as much value out of toggling it as possible. Is Thrall going to die? It looks like it. Alarak definitely could have gotten out there if he had just walked away. I was trying to bash Genji away from him, but apparently he just decided it was time to man mode and punch people and then die. But anyway, got the fort. Pretty easy stuff. Could have been easier, but that is where I will leave that train of thought. So our W talent at level 4 is called Barricade, and you've seen it so far. There it is again. It's just a big old wall that Hammer is going to put down at the edge of her concussive blast. And when doing that, if a character is pushed back by concussive blast, they're going to get put on the other side of the wall. So characters like Artanis, characters like Thrall and Genji, everybody zipping in front of Sergeant Hammer is just going to get blasted backwards, shoved onto the other side of the wall, and they're just going to have a generally bad time. Hogger going down. I am in siege mode, and I do not mean to be, but my Anduin has got the pull to make me so happy. I probably killed Alarak right there. I may have killed him by putting the wall up. Then again, all he had to do was walk down to begin with, or maybe boost himself away, and could have been fine. But that's okay. Everybody's taking their time to learn the characters. I'm going to get rooted. Genji is going to get on the wrong side of the wall, unfortunately, and this is where I die. I made a poor decision there as well, and we're paying for it. Now back to the build. Because Barricade is going to reduce the cooldown of our W as well, it's going to make putting those walls up really, really often kind of a focal point of this build on top of them. Oh no. He's dead. Bummer. Just getting his corpse slapped around. Unfortunate. Plenty of time for us to get back in there to de-channel the objective. Oh no, everybody's getting hit by the Genji ult. He's got protected, but I don't think he's going to make it, even though the teams are basically split off 2 versus 1 fighting each other. It's okay. Everything's fine. Alarak hanging out in the middle of the enemy team. We're going to take out the Artanis, though, with a napalm strike from the sky, and possibly a Gul'dan. Can I get in front of him? I cannot get in front of him. Oh, no. That does bring up a good point, though. Hammer cannot mount. And I didn't mention this, but thrusters is our Z. We're going to increase our movement speed by 60% for 4 seconds when we hit this ability, and it's on a 30-second cooldown. If you're in siege mode and you hit thrusters, you're going to boost out of siege mode immediately, as long as you have the cooldown up. Good guy, Anduin, just keeping us healed up. Fantastic. Absolutely love that healer taking care of the hammer. That is what you want to see, no matter what you're doing. I'm putting a wall down to make sure nobody else was going to come in after us, but it didn't seem to happen that way, and I get another pull to safety. Just bash those guys away from Anduin, who's taking a nap directly in the center of the battlefield. Oh, Genji, do you know where you are? Okay. Well, turns out he does. He was able to make it out of there. So is our Alarak, though, so it could have been a lot worse than it was. Luckily, we're fine. Now, our first mine talent of the entire build is going to be at level 7. It's called Pulse Detonation Core. And what this is going to do for the mines, it's going to allow them to detonate 3 times. So the amount of damage that they're doing is now tripled for their duration. And in doing that, we're also going to get mana back and cooldown reduction every time that we auto it. Did you think you could kill me? What? Have you been able to kill me at all up until this point? What made you think anything was going to change? Just because I have 50 health does not mean I'm killable. Get out. Back to the Pulse Detonation Core, though. So the other thing that our auto attacks are doing are reducing the cooldown of this ability by 1.5 seconds when we're just standard auto attacking people. But if we're in siege mode, we're getting 2.5 seconds off of the mines. I had absolutely no idea that auto attacks reduced the cooldown of this ability when looking at this talent. So this is actually new information to my brain because I never play. Look at that dodge. My god, man. Just get on my level. Just kidding. I'm not that toxic, I promise. Or am I? Trying to get the Genji off of us again. There are about 5 trillion mines directly in his face, and he is going to get sandwiched between my wall and the actual wall, and I'm just going to laugh to myself as our team deletes him in that terrain taco that he was in. Oh, I love Concussive Blast and Barricade so much. And I love this Anduin always using his ult, knowing exactly what to do with it. Fantastic play, my friend. So, the cooldown reduction on the mines is going to make it really easy for us to use the mines a lot more often. And we've got some talents later on that are going to let us poop out more mines on top of that. So, really what we're doing with this build is putting all the mines in a place that the enemy team really wants to dive into us for. The sad part of it is that Thrall and Gul'dan can do a lot of damage to us from far away, and Deckard can root us from really far away, which isn't necessarily terrible because we're kind of rooting ourselves in siege mode anyway. But when characters like Artanis and Genji run at us and they run into 1,000 mines and kill themselves, that's where the build is really going to shine. And we kind of bait them into doing that when we go into siege mode, which is fucking perfect. So we got hit by the blind. We need to get out of here right away. Genji's running at us, though, and there's a whole bunch of mines just waiting for him if he decides to go further. I really enjoy this. I didn't think I was going to have this much fun with this build, I'm going to be honest with you, but I am having a blast. The game that I played prior to this one kind of had the same scenario, so I am about it. Now, our level 13 talent is going to be Tactical Mine Deployment. Moving while thrusters is active leaves a trail of up to 5 spider mines, and it's going to increase the slow of the spider mines by 15%. Right now, they're doing 25% of it slow, so we're getting 40% slow on the mine activation anytime we hit people with mines after taking this talent. And not only that, when we use our Q to drop mines, we get 3, but when we get the 5 from thrusters, we can kind of set it up to where we just get 8 mines dropped directly beneath us when we want to siege up. So, you can put these in a bush, you can catch people unawares, you know, if they're just sitting directly below you or near you, because the mines do hunt people once they're active. And you can have a shitload of mines all over the place. And especially if you're auto-attacking enough, you will have So many to work with. It's insane. I don't know why we're worried about the top boss when our bottom boss is on a keep here, and this is a very much free keep, possibly end of the game if we can kill them. But whatever, I'm just going to push the minions in, get the boss onto the keep at least. Genji thinks maybe I'm alone, so maybe we keep him here concentrating. No, that's okay. He's back on the defense. I'm not going to push any further because I don't want to die, but it's fine. We'll take out the top boss without losing a fort. That doesn't really... Fort versus keep isn't really a priority, but at least the boss got the keep on his own. That's what we wanted to happen anyway. Thank God it worked out. Now, our level 16 talent is Mechanical Know-How, and the reason that I'm taking this over Executioner is because they do the same amount of buffed damage. So, Executioner is giving us 30%, Mechanical Know-How is also giving us 30%. The only difference between the two is that Executioner is going to get... Thank you, God, Anduin. Jesus. You're so good. I love you so much. What was I saying? Got him. Nice lightning from the Alarak there at the end. Right, but Mechanical Know-How, it's going to give us a shield, and it's going to give us that 30% bonus damage for 5 seconds. Executioner can theoretically give you more damage over a longer duration as long as you're hitting targets that are stunned, rooted, or slowed. But even though our mines are slowing people, I want the shield, and I want the burst damage while the shield is up. I want to be able to use my shield aggressively on top of having it for the whole defensive option that it's built for. And I just can't do that with Executioner. Executioner's all offense, and there's not enough CC on my team to make me think that that is going to be super effective. So we're going to take the shield for the 20% of our maximum health. We are going to take the increased damage for 5 seconds, and I am going to never look back. Ever look back. So our 20 talent is going to be Shrapnel Mines. This is the, well, I don't really need that one, but I still appreciate you looking out for me. That's really nice of you. Just go ahead and keep these guys away from our back line. So the 20 talent is really the icing on the cake for the mine build. What this is going to do is allow our mines to reduce armor by 10 every time that they hit someone. And if you will recall, mines hit people 3 times because of that level 7 talent. And in doing that, we're going to have so many mines down that even if they didn't, there are enough mines to reduce people's armor by 30 quite often. I was trying to sandwich him again into the wall, and it didn't work that time, because he didn't actually move. And I didn't wait long enough. Right, but so the mines attacking multiple times and having multiple mines is going to reduce armor so often and so much that people should basically just die anytime that they dive into us. With the number that we're going to poop out with our RZ, oh my god, Deckard just disintegrated. That's so unlucky for him. And we're just going to barricade Thrall out of his Hall of Storms, take him down as well. I love that talent so much. Can we kill Genji before the game ends? We cannot. Ah, that's unfortunate. All the AoE damage on the core. Gonna save Genji one last time. This build is way more fun than I have ever given it credit for, and I am so sorry. I doubted it up until this point, so I may goof around with it a little bit more, see how else I can meme it in Quick Match. But in case you need it one more time, what we're taking today is going to be Ambush, Barricade, Pulse Detonation Core, Napalm Strike, Tactical Mine Deployment, Mechanical Know-How, and Shrapnel Mines. Holy shit. Do yourself a favor. Enjoy the build. I'll see you next time. That is going to do it for, well, today. We have one more. We'll call this one number 3. And I still need to think of something to do tomorrow. If you have suggestions, as always, feel free to send them my way in the comments. But I'll see you guys then. GG's. Peace out.